In this first throw, you're going to see Jalen Milroe throw an absolute rope to no other than Kendrick Law. I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. My expectations for this Alabama defense aren't too high. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you are having a great Friday. Hope all of you had a good week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. As most of y'all know, the season is literally right around the corner. It's sneaking up on us. I mean, guys, we have college football this month, which means our news videos, predictions, live reactions, all the normal content you see from late August until March, it's coming back. Can't tell y'all enough how excited I am for that. Hope you guys are excited as well. And originally, I was going to upload a documentary video like we've been making in the off season. If you know, you know, we've posted a bunch of them. But I decided to switch things up, and we're going to talk about what's going on with Alabama, but more importantly, Jalen Milroe and the entire team. Fall camp has officially started for, I think, every single team now, and we got some video footage that I think you guys would like to see. We do have two other minor topics I do want to talk about, and one of those is Texas. What they're doing with the NIL, it's ridiculous. The other one being Kentucky, they're having to vacate some wins. Strap in, buckle up, get you a snack, get you a popcorn, get your favorite meal you like to eat when you watch a video, because trust me, I do the same thing. But all right, Matt, blah, blah, shut the crap up, now further ado. Let's get into it. All right, first things first, let's breeze through this Kentucky situation. Reports are coming out that the Kentucky football program has agreed to vacate all 10 wins from the 2021 season for NCAA violations. What are these violations, you may ask? Well, Kentucky had at least 11 players who received payment for work in which they didn't perform. It's relatively simple. They were supposed to work at a hospital, they never worked there, and they got paid for it, which is a big no-no. Let me know your thoughts on that. Me personally, I don't think it's a huge deal, but I figured, hey, why not? We'll throw it in the video. Our second topic, and this is going to be another short one, I'm only going to speak on this for 30-45 seconds, is Texas has two players, or I shall say, my apologies, two new players with a Lamborghini NIL deal. One of those being, and we knew this was going to happen, Isaiah Bond. The other being Michael Taffy. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I've never heard of this guy. Let me clarify. I'm all for these players getting it, and I think it's awesome. It's just crazy how fast college football has changed. Like I said, I already know you're going to have a Texas fan run to the comments. Oh my goodness, Matt. How do you not know who Michael Taffy is? That guy's a baller. Where I'm going with this is Michael isn't a household name, and I'm kind of shocked it took Isaiah Bond this long to land his deal with Lamborghini, because for those of you that can recall and remember, he was test driving Lamborghinis and he was already in talks with them the day after he left Alabama. I could talk about that all day, but we gotta move on to the main topic, the main encore, main reason you clicked onto this video. What's going on with Alabama? It's been a minute since we talked about the Crimson Tide, as most of you have probably picked up on it in the offseason. I really don't talk about any team too much. There's not a lot going on, and when there's not a lot going on, there's not too much to say. However, that would change quickly, because during the season, there's going to be a lot of chaos going on, and we know that. Anyways, the reason I've gathered all you here today is because Alabama, they've released some video footage, or somebody released it, of the quarterbacks. I have no idea who owns the copyrights to this video, so I'm just going to pray they do not copyright strike me. In this first throw, you're going to see Jalen Milroe throw an absolute rope to no other than Kendrick Law. You see the pass, and I've been saying it since last year. Jalen Milroe, he throws a pretty ball, but he's also one of the most accurate deep ball passers in the nation, if not the most accurate. I don't know why it is like this, but there's this whole misconception that Jalen Milroe isn't an accurate passer of the football, and that's just false. When it comes to the short passes and medium passes, he could improve on that a little bit, but the deep balls, I thought he was close to flawless last year. And per usual, we see this time to time when a returning starter like this, who's a first-year starter at that, has a whole offseason to prepare for a second year, they improve drastically. Jalen Milroe was the only reason Alabama even made it to the playoff last year. He put Alabama on his back and carried them in that final stretch of the season. Milroe played good enough last year to lead us to a championship. So if he just stayed the same as last year, he stayed stagnant, we'd be A-okay heading into the next season, the following one coming up. So if he's improved not even a ton, but a little bit, this Alabama offense is going to be scary. In the second video clip I'm going to show you, this is Austin Mack, the transfer, throwing to the 5-star recruit Ryan Williams. We'll talk about Williams in just a second. And last but not least, Ty Simpson, he was throwing his pass to Caleb Odom. And all three of the quarterbacks, they're really good. Alabama arguably has the best quarterback room in the entire nation. Ty Simpson is a phenomenal backup quarterback, and I am really happy and pleased he decided to come back. I know he's not going to be the starter, but You just like to see it because a lot of guys wouldn't do it. Whenever Simpson gets his shot, whether it's because Milroe is departing to the NFL or he decides to enter the portal, I'm wishing him the best of luck, and I'm thankful for his time at Bama. There isn't a quarterback competition to the slightest this year. There's still some people trying to say, oh, well, maybe if Milroe doesn't do good. No, it's Milroe's team in a conversation. So getting that out the way, let's talk about the Alabama football team in general. I got a couple different sources I've talked to who have been at some of the recent practices, and from what I've heard, Ryan Williams, the 5-star wide receiver, he's the truth. He's the real deal, extremely talented. But, and I have a really big but, he's not exactly polished, which isn't a bad thing, so I don't want you to get it twisted. He's just your stereotypical freshman. He's got a lot to learn. He's got to learn the playbook and the fundamentals. They're not quite all there just yet. When I say fundamentals, I'll clarify even more. It's the little things he's got to work on. But man, oh man, the Alabama wide receiver room is arguably the biggest question mark on this team outside of the secondary. The days of Alabama just rolling out Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Waddle, those days are far from over, and we've seen that. Alabama has a ton of talent, but they don't have those go-to wide receivers like they've had in the past with, oh yeah, guys like Jameson Williams and John Mechie. Depending on how you look at that, it could be good and bad news. Bad news is, obvious, you don't have the guy. You don't have a proven wide receiver. The good news is, that means there's a new opportunity for a young buck like Ryan Williams. I think Ryan Williams, as a true freshman, he's going to play. As to how much he's going to play, don't know. I'd say it's going to be one of those things where he's going to get a couple opportunities, and if he does good, he'll get more and more and more. He'll get a shot. It won't be a free throw, but it'll be a contested three-pointer to prove himself. I can't emphasize this enough. For a true freshman wide receiver to even be sniffing playing time, that is unheard of. That's going to be something to keep your eyes on. Another guy that I made a video on, what was it, about a year and a half ago? Caleb Odom, the tight end recruit out of high school. I talked about this whenever we made that video. He is going to be a matchup nightmare. He was listed as a tight end coming out of high school, but he's more of a hybrid tight end, kind of like the O.J. Howard style. But the thing that's scary about Caleb Odom is he's more athletic than your stereotypical tight end, and he also has hands like a wide receiver. And from what I'm hearing, you're going to see Caleb Odom lined up at wide receiver a lot. That's really all there is to talk about on offense. Offensive line should easily be one of the best in the SEC, and we know we got at the running back position. Jam Miller, Justice Haynes, they're going to be A-okay. And there's another guy I'm drawing a blank on. Can't remember his name. On the flip side of the ball for the defense, it's wishy-washy. I'm going to just tell you straight up, am I worried about the Alabama defense? No, and I'll explain why. Alabama has so many 4- and 5-star recruits, even if they're not exactly ready to play, if you just plug in those guys, they're going to make plays like they did in high school. So I'm not worried, and you're going to hear me say that a lot about this Alabama football team, and I've said that in 2023, 2022, 2021, because when you have the guys that can compete at a high level, there's nothing to worry about because you know what they're capable of. It's just a question of if they do it and if they execute. The only time I'd be worried for a team, like let's just say, oh, I don't know, Colorado, is when I know they don't have the guys to compete with an Alabama or an Oregon last year, teams like that. That's when you worry because you know no matter what you do, it doesn't matter because you don't have the guys to compete. But with Bama, you got the guys on defense. It's just going to come down to execution, which, you know, that's what all these games come down to. Alabama's defense made me really happy in the second half of the season last year. They were playing some good football, but even at that, let's not act like Alabama had some monstrosity of a defensive team out there because they didn't. I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. My expectations for this Alabama defense aren't too high. But that's a good thing because if we go out there and give up a 30 burger to Georgia, well, I'm not going to be let down. Why? Because my expectations weren't high in the first place. Whereas if I tell you guys, oh yeah, we're going to have a top 10 defense and we go out there and give up a 30 burger, then you get disappointed because you got let down. Alabama lost some studs on defense, and you can't easily replace guys like Dallas Turner, Terrion Arnold, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. To sum things up, defense, work in progress, offense, going to score 40 points a game. I have a hard time believing anybody's going to stop Jalen Milroe. There's many more things I could say, but we'll end it off here. Nice little Bama update video for your Friday, and I figured it's good timing because we haven't talked about them really at all throughout this entire offseason. I might do some more of these update videos for other teams. Haven't really decided. If that's something you guys want to see, let me know in the comment section. But